what actually inspired you to write this book, RX for Resilience?
Okay, then thank you so much for your wonderful words, Tamal. And yeah, that's I have mentioned about this in my preface also. No, what happened is that this whole journey of which I've talked about in the book, this took place for, I would say, maybe last 10 to 12 years. And the first chapter in my book is about being broken open. There was an incident which I have described where a patient of mine had died after a endoscopic procedure, and that had left me heartbroken and really left me quite shattered. Although as doctors we have to face these challenging situations, but something about it, maybe it was the patient's young age or whatever, the family or maybe circumstances were like that, that it really made me shattered. And that was a time when I started seeking for meaning in life, seeking to know about the truth of life, what is happiness, what is temporary, what is permanent. And in this process, I had to, confront all my emotions. I had to embrace my fears, my sadness, my despair, rather than trying to suppress it. Normally, when things happen, when something unpleasant happens, we try to suppress it. But I had learned to, intuitively, I realized that I had to say yes and not resist it. And in the process, there was a lot of clarity, some insights, and some awakening episodes, which gave me a lot of clarity about, what is life, what are we, what is our true identity. And in the book of also I've described, for people who are more interested, there's a chapter on exploring who am I and exploring our thoughts, because we are often taken over by our thoughts and we identify ourselves as this limited person, or just we identify with our thoughts and emotions so much that there is no gap at all. So in this whole process there was a lot of discovery, lot of clarity, and at a certain point of time I felt that I should share this message, because I felt that something which has happened to me and which has brought about such a lot of transformation, maybe it may help someone else also in their path. And that is what motivated me. And the idea came to me that, okay, I have to start it. Then, as you rightly pointed out, the biggest problem was how to find the time to write it. Because being in quite a busy schedule, and having a lot of even emergency duties and things like that, I was left with very less time. Even Sundays, as you know, doctors are on call, especially in India. Abroad, though, they are off during the weekends, but here sometimes Saturdays and Sundays are very busy. But I've also described in the last chapter on the magic of habits, and I was inspired by the Atomic Habits by James Clear. You may have read it, and a lot of viewers may have read it, where he talks about taking small steps. So I had decided that I'll maybe write just maybe 100 or 200 words every day and just see where it goes. And what happens is, once you start writing, then it creates that momentum. Then ideas start coming up. So you may be writing 100 words, then someday 200, someday 500, maybe a holiday or Sunday, 1000 words. And before you know, you may have completed maybe 5,000 words. Then you realize, okay, this can be done. And that is what I would like to share to the viewers also. A lot of you, I'm sure, may be brimming with some ideas, but you may be thinking, oh, how can I write it? I don't have the time. I have my family, my responsibility, my job. But if that idea is deeply ingrained in you and you want to share it, I'll just say you just start. Wherever you are, at whatever point you are, just start the process. Maybe tomorrow, all you do is to think of a title, start page one, maybe one line. Very often, the biggest hurdle, Tamal, is in starting what we are trying. So this way I started, and that there was that motivation to share whatever I had learned among people, The second part was how to go about it. So I just made small, small steps. And I would say it is all grace and blessings that this thing took shape.